Hi, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode on the show Behind the Scenes in Hell with Dr. Ron. If you're new here, my name is Ronald, popularly known as Dr. Ron, and I talk about everything healthcare, health tech, how to pivot from clinical care to health tech, and all of that. So, if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right space, you're in the right channel, you're on the right podcast. So, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so that whenever I drop new content, you're the first to know. And to my returning viewers, listeners, subscribers, thank you guys for sticking around because of you, the ministry is moving to the permanent site. Yes, so on today's episode, I'll be trying to answer one very recurring question I get all the time, and it's do I need to know how to code or write programs to be able to get into health tech? So if this is you or this sounds like you, then you might want to stick around to the end of the video so that because I'll just be sharing my tips and like a balanced discussion of if you should or you shouldn't and how that impacts your chances in the health tech space, right? So I'll quickly start with what's programming. So in one of my recent videos, I tried to break down health tech into two broad categories. You have the coding part and you have the non-coding part. So the coding part is where all the programming takes place, all the writing of the hard coding, the back end, and all of that takes place really. And you have the non-coding part, which doesn't require coding and all of that, right? But a lot of people still feel that whenever they hear health tech, they need to know how to code, right? So I'll quickly run through a couple of programming languages, first of all, to bring you to speed, up to speed about what programming is. So basically, every computer or every software runs on a code, really, and there are different types of code depending on the application or what it's supposed to do. So for instance, you have procedural languages like C. There are programs that run, execute functions step by step. You have object-oriented programming languages like Python, Java, Ruby. You have scripting languages like Python. You have markup languages like HTML, XML. You have query languages like SQL, that's structured query language. You have XQuery, and sometimes you have domain-specific software or programming languages like MATLAB and R. So this is just to give you a general overview of the kind of programming languages that are used in the tech or health tech space, right? So the question now is, must you learn how to code? I would say yes, I would say no. So on the yes part, so what happens is when you get into the health tech space, you already have the healthcare background. So you understand how healthcare works, how hospital systems operate, and all of that. Then on the tech side, that's the technical skills you're now looking for. If, for example, you know how to code, I mean, you're now automatically very attractive, to recruiters because you're able to, do both sides really and understand what really happens on both sides of the divide, right? Unlike somebody who has no programming skills really. So the truth is, you really don't know how to you shouldn't know how to program to be able to get into the health tech space. So using myself for example, right, I do just a tiny bit of coding. So basically, I just went into Python, I went into R to understand what it's all about. What does the syntax look like? What do these apps do when they're in full operation? How are they written and all of that? So typically I just started on a very surface level to just understand the apps, the terminologies and all of that. So and so far in my job or what I'm doing at the moment, it's helped me because I'm able to talk to the dev guys. Because if you're working in a health tech team, you're going to be talking with developers a lot, depending on the kind of role you're talking. So it makes a lot of sense when you can speak their language, say front end, back end, and database integration and all of that. Or there's a bug, we need to debug, there's a downtime, you know, all of those things. It makes it really easy and the job moves faster. Unlike somebody who is just you don't have an idea of what they are talking about. So it really makes it difficult, really. Then I think again it depends on the area that you're working. So if, for example, you're into maybe project management, I mean, you really don't have any business learning how to code, or you're working in sales and communication, or you're in customer success, or you're doing a BA role, business analyst, or a product owner, and all of that. You really don't have that necessity to learn how to code, right? But bottom line is, if you can, fine, it's good. It gives you an added advantage. But if you can't, it's still all well and good. You will still be fine, really. But if you ask me, my own honest advice, I would just say try to get a grasp of what these things are, what they do, what kind of applications they are run on, and basically their use case scenarios, so that if somebody says Python, you have an idea. If somebody says R, you have an idea. If somebody says SQL, my SQL, you have an idea of what's going on. They mention Power BI, you really know what it is and what they do at the base level, really. So I think from my own experience, that gives you a lot of edge. So I hope I've answered that question. If you should learn programming or if you should not learn programming, right? So I just try to give you the perspective on both ends. So the decision is yours to make, really. So again, I would say in my current role, when I looked at the job description, it wasn't stated that I will learn how to, or I should know how to code. So I should just, I think I should mention that to reassure a lot of persons. So it doesn't sound as if I said don't learn, but meanwhile I still know what it looks like, right? So that's it. So if you have any questions or comments, you can drop them in the comment section, and I'll usually always reply and catch up with you. And yeah, if there are any other questions or something else you want me to talk about, feel free to pop it up in the comment section, and I'll take it up and we'll talk about it sometime on the show, right? And yeah, there are some of the previous episodes I've done before in the past where I tried to break down the different types of health tech roles, really. So you might want to look for that on my channel and also go through them. So I took time to break them down to the coding and non-coding roles. I also get questions around salary ranges and all of that. I also have a video on how much the health tech guys earn in the industry. So you might want to look at that. Recently, I had an interview with a health data scientist, Dr. Lulu, who shared his journey on how he was able to move from clinical medicine into health data science. So you might also want to have a look at that video. So yeah, I'm always a DM away, I'm always a comment away. So whatever it is, pop it down there and I'll always catch up with you. And yeah, thank you guys for sticking around to the end of this session. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, stay safe and bye for now.